welcome to Deer Valley.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. Great to be here.
I'm here with Bill Burns, Chief Executive of Zebra Technologies. Bill, why don't we just kick off? Why don't you share a little bit about your background personally?
My 30-year plus career in the tech industry, CEO of a publicly listed company in test and measurement, then a startup, most recently CEO there, sold that to Cisco, and then joined Zebra 8 years ago. Chief Product and Solutions Officer for the last 5 years or so, and then recently took over as CEO on March 1st.
Tell us about Zebra Technologies.
Zebra really empowers the frontline worker. So we think of it as our vision of enterprise asset intelligence, which really is our vision to have every worker, at the front line and every asset visible, connected, and optimally utilized. And you see us, our products in each and every day, in everyday life, right? You see us at the front of store checkout inside retail. You see us printing wristband labels inside hospitals. You see us, our mobile devices being used for parcel delivery from postal services or parcel delivery companies in T&L. Most recently, we've invested in some new areas, so machine vision, robotics, and retail software. So our customer base is really varied.
Tell us about how you guys continue to invest in the R&D front and how that drives your innovation in order to stay ahead of the competition.
Yeah, we spend about 10% of revenues in R&D today. We invest in all segments of our business. We think of it as our core business, adjacencies, and then these new areas. And we allocate capital across them. We also look to spend money on venture investments in new areas which we're inquisitive about, but not sure we want to make the investment ourselves. And we also allocate capital to M&A where we think we can accelerate time to market. So places where we find interesting spaces that we usually make organic investments, venture investments, and then sometimes do M&A to enhance the time to market for us.
Interesting. Can you elaborate and double click on perhaps some of the forward-looking areas where you're investing that you think are going to transform your business?
We think of our core business as continue to grow and expand. So we think of it as, our scanning products, our barcode printing and barcode label, as well as other industrial printing applications. And we think of our mobile computing and devices. All of those are markets that continue to grow as we allow our customers to digitize and automate their environments. There's some adjacent areas we're invested in that grow faster than that. So think of tablets, think of RFID technology, so radio frequency technology for automated inventory management within retail as an example. And then these new areas we're invested in really around machine vision and imaging. So allow us to use imaging for product detection or inspection within our customer's environment. Think of fixed industrial scanning to allow conveyance and others inside warehouse environments or manufacturing to be more efficient. The other area is robotics, so autonomous mobile robots for either goods transport. Think of transporting goods on the back end of an assembly line to take goods replenishment inside an assembly line to make it more productive. Lastly, it's around retail software, and we leverage AI, but other techniques as well that allow retail associates to be more engaged. So think of communication and collaboration software on those mobile devices inside a retail store. And then we think of these three new areas around machine vision, fixed industrial scanning, around robotics, and around retail software that allows us to continue to grow as a company and drive profitable growth for our investors.
It seems like you guys really touch every leg of the supply chain that consumers experience, but you're kind of behind the scenes.
Yep.
Here in Deer Valley at the Fortune Brainstorm Tech Conference, we've heard about AI. It's everywhere. And you've touched on it a little bit. Could you go a little bit deeper and share with us kind of how you were thinking about it from an R&D intensity standpoint? Are you investing in your own proprietary solutions, utilizing artificial intelligence, or are you utilizing third-party providers?
Yeah, a lot of discussion today is around generative AI. I think that if we look at Zebra across our portfolio, we got about 50 different applications for using more traditional AI techniques today. So think of it as machine learning. Think of it as intelligent automation, within our customers' environment and leveraging AI and more traditional techniques. So we use it for workforce management, the idea of planning people's schedules. We use it for product recognition. We use it for inspection inside manufacturing. We use it for optical character recognition. So more traditional techniques around artificial intelligence. And I think we see that will continue. There'll be more and more use cases across the portfolio. But, we're taking a conservative approach to that as most are. It's still early innings, but I think that it makes sense for all businesses to look at how do they augment their product offerings or solutions offerings with AI, but how do you also use it internally to be more effective and more efficient? And that's exactly what we're doing.
Sure. Seems to me that Zebra sits in a very interesting intersection of manufacturing, commerce, consumption, and the volumes of data that you're able to tack onto and have access to are going to provide just massive opportunities for using machine learning and be able to leverage statistical models to provide insights to your customers.
Yeah, we think of it as, each and every day we're helping our customers digitize and automate their environments at the front line of business. So we think of it in the idea that says, how do you use data in real time? So you can use our data for big data and analytics and others, and that's certainly an opportunity customers can do. We think of it more as how do you make the next best action within your business? Where do you send the forklift next? Where do you send the worker to be able to meet with that customer and ultimately deliver the order? How do you make sure the shelf is stocked in retail? How do you make sure that package is delivered to the right address on time? And that's how we think about it across what we do. If you can digitize and automate what's happening at the front line of productivity and gather that data and make real-time decision-making, you can be much more effective and efficient within your business.
I want to just thank you for spending time with us this afternoon. On behalf of Mizuho, we have a strong and growing relationship with Zebra. It's very much appreciated.
Thanks, Rich.